to a more perfect podcast. Today. Okay. My crappy Mexican accent is not working. Hello and welcome to a more perfect podcast. Today I have my third guest. His name is Gavin, and he is a fellow Republican friend of mine, and he is also a coworker, and he's also going to be a firefighter. So we'll address all those things and more in this podcast. He's a very interesting dude. He's a pretty cool guy. But today we're going to be discussing this documentary that him and I both watched the other day. It's called Cartel Land, and it's free on Amazon Prime Video, and it depicts the struggles of a vigilante group called the Autodefensas and the leader El Doctor, or Jose Morales, and it's set in Michoacan.
Michoacan, yeah.
Yeah, Michoacan, Mexico. And it also focuses at the same time on Tim Naylor Foley, Naylor being his nickname. Be a pretty awesome middle name too, but Tim Naylor Foley. And he ran a group called the Arizona Border Recon.
Yeah.
So two vigilante groups, same purpose: fight the cartels, kill the bad guys, kill the drug smugglers. And it goes into how gray the border is, and gray meaning the situation between right and wrong, black and white.
Yeah.
Just how murky it all is down there. So Gavin, why don't you tell us about that documentary, about what the cartels did?
Well, thank you, Dylan. Well, first of all, I just want to say it's an honor being on this podcast. I've been listening to the past few episodes. Pretty cool, really professional setup.
Thank you.
About Cartel Land. Or as on our board, we have Cartel Land, like hell, as in you're going to hell. It's a great documentary, honestly. You gotta watch it at some point in your life if you're more interested in knowing about what the real reality is of like border patrol, or what the situation is like going on in Mexico, dealing with the cartel and the government and the people. It's really interesting. I would recommend it to anyone interested. So, I mean, it's so good. It was nominated for an Oscar, right? We did some research on it, and like I could see why it would be nominated for an Oscar with all that raw footage, and also had like a R-rated rating or an NC-17 rating.
It was R. It's funny. So in my mind, there's two types of R-rated movies or R-rated films, productions, you could say. There's R, and then there's R for a reason. Yeah. This is the latter. This is R for a reason.
Absolutely.
Before we go into that, it was the same people. It was the same producer that did the movie Zero Dark 30 and another film. I forget the name of that. But Zero Dark 30 was about Osama bin Laden, and that won a whole bunch of freaking awards at the Oscars. It was so good. Zero Dark 30, I believe, was also a Steven Spielberg. He helped that happen. It's another insanely good movie. It's about the CIA agent who tracked down Osama bin Laden, and this is how he killed him. Gavin, so in this documentary, it obviously covers the cartels. What kinds of things did the cartels do to the people of Michoacan, Mexico?
Well, the cartel are animals. They are monsters. They are those things that live under your bed at night. You check for monsters under the bed. They are scary. And they're still like going to this day. Just the cartel. I mean, you got like the Knights Templars, and you got like, what was the other group? I'm not 100% sure, but I did recognize the Knights Templars at first.
They were the main cartel in the documentary.
The main cartel that like ran kind of sort of ran Mexico.
It was the Knights Templar and the Viagras.
Yeah, let's say the cartel, they have a fetish for just manslaughter. They are absolutely atrocious people. They kill people, they smuggle people, rape people, smuggle drugs. Like, these guys are like the worst of the worst. You do not want to mess with any of these guys, because they will honestly
find you and kill you.
They will find you and rape you, probably rape your family while you're in the meantime, and then kill your family, chop them up into little pieces, make you traumatized, and then probably kill you, because that's how they want to send a message. They will just...
They don't care.
They don't care what happens, because they're just still going to thrive on. They're going to get more members, and they're just going to do even worse stuff.
They went into some very specific stories and like testimonies from family members in the neighborhoods of Michoacan, Mexico. There was a woman that had a very just wrenching, heart-wrenching story about
very sad.
the cartels. You want to tell us about that?
Okay, so this lady, she was like, I think she was kidnapped by the cartel or smuggled. I'm not 100% sure. I have to probably go back and watch it, but she was most likely kidnapped. And I think they kidnapped her either friends or family as well. And they taunted her and they started cutting up her friends and family.
Yeah, right in front of her.
Right in front of her, and just like they were laughing. Now, these cartels are monsters. They're just laughing. They're acting like devils. Like this is all fun in the game, like shits and giggles and all that stuff. They think it's a joke.
Yep.
And it's just very, very sad. And I think she quoted after they cut off her family and friends into like pieces and stuff, they threw them into like a pit, like where just like body parts in just a hole in the ground. And I'm not sure if it was to antagonize her or as a joke, but they threw her along in the pit as well with all the body parts, like of all her family members, like all in all. I think they said that the cartel, well, she overheard the cartel talking about how they don't have to kill her, how she's just going to be traumatized for the rest of her life, and she's never going to let this down. She's going to be so scared, and like she won't be able to do a thing about it because she's going to be living her whole life in fear because we'll still be around.
Yeah.
And it was
they left her to go insane.
Yeah, very, very sad. So like, not only will they mess with you like physically, they'll mess with you psychologically.
Obviously,
that's how they can be monsters for the mind.
And it went into, and it wasn't just testimonials, it was pictures too. They showed heads on pikes in the middle of the street.
Heads in the middle of the streets. I think they showed one dead guy. He was just, I think he got like shot.
Multiple.
Yeah, multiple dead guys. They got shot and their lifeless bodies are in the street covered in blood.
Yeah. They showed the blood. They didn't hold back.
They did not hold back on the violence and gore. They went all out.
Yeah, they showed how it really was.
Yeah.
And it's kind of frightening to me because I know this was edited to like the stuff that they had to edit out.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
can't even imagine.
The stuff that they probably had to edit in post was probably so graphic. Like they probably can put this on. We can't put this on television if honestly.
Yeah, not that they would let it go on television because it goes against the narrative of the day. But
we don't want to like scare people or traumatize people into watching this film.
We would advise you, it's not for the faint of heart. It's, like I said earlier, R for a reason.
R for a reason.
So these cartels, so what eventually happened at the end? You have the autodefenses.
Yeah.
You have a few different players. Going through those players, we have the Tim Naylor Foley.
Yeah.
It doesn't really focus on him. It more focuses on
the autodefenses and, El Doctor.
Yeah. El Doctor and his quest to reclaim Michoacan from the Knights Templar cartel. Well, eventually near the end, he getting a plane crash?
Yeah. Towards the end, I'm not sure if he was like traveling for something, but he gets in a plane and the plane crashes in the movie and he gets paralyzed like from his face, like half of his face gets paralyzed and like he like limps when he walks.
Yep.
But when he was talking about it after the plane crash, after like getting out of the hospital and talking about it on camera, I think he mentioned how it was probably a possible assassination attempt by the cartel. I mean, it could have been a possibility of many things. Maybe it was just another plane crash. Maybe
Engine failure.
Oh no, we lost some ground or
birds,
something like
I don't
know. It could be possibly anything, but like it led me on and it gave me this fascinating idea of like, what man, if the Knights Templar would like go on to do such a thing as to like crash a plane just to take down the leader.
Yeah.
Like you will know how hardcore these guys go to. Like
these guys will go to any length.
They will push themselves to the limit. Oh my god.
I wouldn't put it under them to say if you were in a vigilante movement, if you ran a vigilante movement against them, they would just blow up the foundation of your office building, cause it to collapse, and just kill everyone inside just to kill you. They don't regard human life. Just like a lot of villains in today's day and age, you got China. They don't regard human life at all. They're very evil regime. So if there's not another episode after this, it's because I said that.
We both got killed by the cartel.
Yes, the cartel. But they just don't regard human life, and it's a very big problem. Getting back to the documentary, he gets in a plane crash, and then he's in the hospital. And while he's in the hospital, the auto defenses they join up with the government, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they join up with the government. Problem, well, because you think, they're joining up with the government. That's a good thing, right?
Wrong. Government is just as corrupt as the cartel.
Yep, government might as well be a cartel.
Honestly.
I mean, they're controlled by the cartels, funded by the cartels. Nothing is good. All the way up to the president of Mexico, probably even now as we speak.
Probably.
It's totally corrupted. Everything's corrupted. And that's why the vigilante movements had to form, is because, hey, if the government will protect us, if no one will protect you, then who will? If there's men on your doorstep with guns threatening your family, what would you do?
Yeah.
And the answer is exactly what these guys are freaking doing: fight back.
Getting guns.
Yep. There's a quote there that says, we have two ways. So we have two ways of dying. We can lay down and die, or we can die fighting. And they're like, we chose to die fighting, and that's how pretty much the documentary opens up. And it's very sad. But what happened was the auto defenses, they became a cartel themselves, and they joined the government. A few different things happened at once. They joined the government. Cartels, they started inviting cartel members into their ranks because the cartel members knew how to cheat, and steal and kill.
Yeah.
Way better than the auto defenses did. They knew the ways of the road, pretty much. And cartels started branching off from the auto defenses, and they became the very thing they were fighting against. Their leader, he started cheating on his family.
He was like hooking up with that one chick in in the car, like that one. He was like touching her. It's like, oh, you're so pretty. He's like kissing her hand. I'm like, I was like lost for a second. Like, wait, doesn't this guy have like a wife or something?
Yeah, he does. And he started cheating on his wife, and he got as the old saying goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely.
So the whole thing got corrupted. And it was just very sad to see something that started off so good and so badly.
It became the very thing it sought to destroy.
Yes, it was very sad. And you learn at the end that actually the entire time that the cartels... So you have to know that, yes, the cartels are animals, but they're also, some of them, I would say a minority, have moral consciences. They don't act on it, obviously, but they do possess some sense of morals. You find out that some of these cartel members, these gang members, drug cooks, were giving guns, giving money, portions of their pay to the auto defenses just to fund them the whole time. Any guns that the auto defenses had, any money that the auto defenses had, it was from the cartels. Everything ran through the cartel. They say in the end, cartels touched one thing, one way or another.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this brings us to the present day. This documentary was in 2013, 2014.
I think it was like sometime like 2014, 2015.
Oh, yeah,
around that time.
Yeah, you're right, Gavin. It was 2014, 15, right before, just as Donald Trump was beginning to climb up and say,
hey, we need to build a wall.
It was like in the very dawn of the 2016 election.
Right before things got heated, the whole Trump versus Hillary sort of thing.
It was the dawn of a new day.
Dawn of a new era, yeah.
Yes. So this is filmed during Obama's presidency. It was, of course, it's not really important who was president at the time, because this is in Mexico, not in the United States.
Yeah.
Today, we have a president who's obviously very, very adamant about the border. I mean... It's his central campaign promise is to build a great big wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. And today, or yesterday, a few days ago, he has proposed a new law to the immigration system.
To make it easier for wealthier immigrants to gain access to on the green cards or citizenship.
Yes, he wants merit-based immigration systems, and it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Can you explain merit-based immigration? and like how it applies to like the welfare state, stuff like that.
So what I think Trump is trying to do is he wants immigrants to come to this country and like, you know, live the American dream, like have a better life if they're dealing with situations back at home.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, when we have immigrants coming into our country, a majority of them, when they come in and like, you know, apply for like a green card or like, just try to stay as a permanent resident or anything like that, they rely on like welfare and food stamps or social security checks.
The system, yeah.
Yeah, money from the government.
Yeah, the welfare state.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Like, we already have, as America by itself, we already have, like, a lot of, like, natural-born citizens, people who've currently lived in America all their life.
Sure.
That are on, like, these programs. And I don't know. We're just becoming more of a lazier, like, country. And, like, how can we trust immigrants to not like go on these certain like government policies, policies, just like certain programs, yes, and like not like work, like how can we trust them they're going to pay taxes, they're going to like show improvement, show that they are going to be like obeying the law or anything like that. It's just you can't really like judge a book by its cover, but you can like judge them based on their actions. Like if you can tell that they're going to live a good life and they're going to like make a name for themselves and like build their status as like a citizen, good for you. Like keep doing what you gotta do. But if you're just going to live off of government programs and just hope for the best and like be lazy, sit back, relax while other people probably working harder as you, making probably just as much. Mm-hmm. Like that seems not right. Seems unfair.
Yep, and he's trying to get rid of the leeches on the system because these people will come in here, and it's very important to note. The Statue of Liberty says, "Give me you're tired, you're poor," and Trump fully stands behind that. You can tell because it doesn't. This new memorandum, new law, whatever you want to call it. I don't exactly know what it is. I'm just going to call it a law.
Yeah.
Because pretty much is. And it doesn't apply to certain people. So some of the things it doesn't apply to is it doesn't apply to people that already have a green card. So if you're currently possessing a green card in the United States, it doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
If you apply for asylum and or you demonstrate a special need from a country, maybe, I don't know, South Africa, a dangerous country, Caribbean, it doesn't apply to you. Or pregnant women and children doesn't apply to you. Okay, we're not going to turn away those people. And yet, the media are still calling Trump racist language policy. It's disgusting.
He's not racist. He just wants what's best for this country. And like he said, he wants people to come into this country. He wants people to feel welcome. He wants them to feel safe. But we can't just have people living off our tax dollars, just sitting back, relaxing, and just sitting on the couch, eating potato chips or whatever, and just chilling, doing nothing, watching TV. Oh,
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Oh, there's Trump on the news. I got on his programs. Screw that guy. Honestly.
Yeah.
But if you're going to prove that you're going to be, American citizen, you gotta obey the law. You gotta pay taxes. You have to do all these things. Just don't be a leech. Just work hard. Work for the American dream. Like, save up to buy a house, buy a car. Yeah. Do whatever. Start a business. Do whatever you want to. Just don't
be a leech.
Don't rely on other people to pay for your expenses.
Mm-hmm. Don't be lazy. So you come from immigrant family.
Yes,
why don't you tell us about that? Because this, I guess I could call it kind of personal for you.
Yeah. My dad is an immigrant from a different country. I'm not going to say what, so for protection purposes.
Oh, okay.
He came here down in the 90s looking for work. Back in the 90s, it's like, America was like still like, thriving. It's like, hey, come to America. We have all this cool stuff. Come on down. We're like a big old fair with like the rides and games and work and stuff. Please come here. Yeah. And he took that opportunity. He came. He gathered every cent he saved up, got all the stuff, packed his bags, and moved down to where we are. Mm-hmm. he worked from his way up. He started as a 7-Eleven gas station attendee. I think he met my mom while he was working down south back in the 90s.
Yeah.
They dated for a few years. They finally decided to marry. And then a few years later, they had me. Then I think it was like 2002, I believe so. My dad got his permanent citizenship. My dad went through the whole process of applying for residency or getting a green card or.
So it took him a few years to become a United States citizen.
Absolutely, and and the process takes a long time to do. But when you see all these people cut in line, and they're just they're just living in they're living in secrecy, and they're saying that they live here and not pay taxes, and taking jobs. That's a little unfair, for people who came here a long time ago. I guess I don't know. I might say it probably was a little easier back then because, I don't know, immigration probably wasn't really a big problem because,
Yeah. I would say it's heated up in the past few years.
Absolutely.
So my family, I don't think it really matters, just to tell what, countries our families and parents came from. My family comes from Greece, and my great-grandfather came from just a rundown version. He came from Greece, and we got out of Greece right before World War II started, and they were the last boat out. We started a restaurant. He ran a very successful restaurant in New York. He started by selling flowers. Once he sold flowers enough, he was able to start a restaurant, and he made it. And so it's, as a legal immigrant, he was in Ellis Island. I mean, they came through Ellis Island. I was able to see the building that my grandfather went through to come when I was up in New York.
Really cool.
I went to New York maybe last summer, and it was just amazing. And you see that today, sure, and it's amazing because I think the American dream. We wouldn't have that concept if it wasn't for immigrants.
Yeah.
Working your way up from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
And of course, the American dream, it's for Americans too. Poor Americans can work themselves up to the top too, but I think immigrants help build the American dream for everyone. We are a nation of immigrants.
Yeah. There's
no denying that. Mexican food, if you like Mexican food, you can thank immigrants for that. Gosh dang it. I personally love Mexican food, Italian food, all that. I mean, they're awesome.
Founded by immigrants, built up by immigrants.
Yep.
And we're Americans. We made ourselves Americans. Immigrants made themselves Americans.
Yes. And that's what Trump wants to see today. He doesn't want to see leeches. We aren't a system, or we aren't a nation of losers. We're a nation of winners.
Yeah. We're not a handy-out. We're not like a hand-me-out. We're not we're not a country of beggars. We're a country of
choosers.
Of choosers and opportunists,
Yes. We're a country where, you can come over, you can start a business, and you can work your way up like your family did and like my family did. And now, we're able to sit here and record a podcast because of what those people did and the things that they came here to do and the countries that they came from. And it's just amazing to see that. And that's what Trump is trying to promote. He's trying to say, if you want to come here, you need to come here with a plan, Stan. Okay?
Yeah. And legally, too.
Legally, too, yes. But, hey, he's a racist. So don't forget that, people. You're Orange Man in Chief, okay? It's a racist.
Chief Cheeto.
Chief Cheeto, yes. So kind of jumping back to the border here. So we have Border Patrol agents, we have the ICE, obviously the Border Patrol themselves, maybe some vigilante groups thrown in there. You, as I mentioned earlier, very beginning of the podcast, you want to be a firefighter.
Yes.
So you kind of have some training with emergency services and firefighter academy. Can you tell us about that? Can you tell what is some interesting things that you found out when you were being trained as a firefighter?
Well, I found out it wasn't easy.
Yeah?
It's not just sitting back in video games and waiting for stuff to happen. It's actually hard work. These guys are lifesavers. They work very hard. I have the utmost respect for firefighters because they're not just firefighters. There's also emergency medical service as well. From what I've learned in the fire academy, most of the calls that they do get are medical related, because like say, oh, old lady Susan fell downstairs, or Tommy broke his leg on the swing set, or whatever. It's mostly medical service. It's honestly rare when they deal with a house fire. And when they do, they say it's like the most fun that they ever had. It's like they're indie action, and but it is serious work though. I don't know. I started wanting to be a firefighter back in 2018, something like that. I was graduating high school. I didn't know what to do with my life. I was thinking doing military, but I don't know what my mom would think of that though.
Yeah.
She would probably be scared to death.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe I could be a firefighter. And I was just thinking, just some careers at the top of my head that I think I would find interest in.
Yeah. And
firefighter being one of them. And I don't know. I talked with some people. Talked with some of my friends from my mom, and they told me all about this stuff, and you should do this and do that, and you have all these benefits. And I'm like, I might look at this. I'll give this a shot.
Yeah.
So I gave it a shot. I started in January, and it ended all the way to June of this year.
Okay.
And, oh my God, it was the hardest 6 months of my life. I will tell you what. It is not a walk in the park. You are
really thrown out there.
Really thrown out there. If you're coming to the fire service and you're joining the fire academy, and you think it's just going to be lectures and learning more about fires,
you couldn't be more wrong.
Couldn't be more wrong. It is probably most hands-on I ever been with a single course in my entire life. I've touched so much equipment, so much tools. I've learned so much about fire trucks and how fires start, and different types of fires, and structures, and everything a firefighter should know. And it was a lot of information to take in. It was really stressful because we had to go over so much in such a little amount of time.
Do specify what's one of the things that you learned there, like an interesting thing that they told you about?
Okay. What they told me, which I thought was really weird, was also really interesting too. That they were handing out in the next few years or so. I think they're handing bulletproof vests to EMT and firefighters and all that stuff. I asked them why. Most of the class even asked why. Why are we getting bulletproof vests? We already have this heavy ass gear on, and we're just walking around and first setting out fires and stuff. Apparently, there have been recent shootings across the country where crazy people just shoot firefighters and EMT, people drive ambulance and stuff. We're here to help you. We're not here to get shot at. If you have a fire and you're just shooting at us from your front porch, good luck with the insurance when your house burns to the damn ground.
Yeah.
But when I found out that firefighters and EMTs were getting shot at, it blew my mind because we're here to help people. But police, it's a whole different story. They're here to help people, but their lives are they put their lives on the line, and it's more dangerous because there's bigger threats out there. But for us, emergency medical services, what?
Yeah,
we don't
who shoots at firefighters? I mean, come on.
EMTs and firefighters work so hard to save people's lives and protect their community, and just to be shot at by a coward with a gun, it's absolutely insane. In my opinion, going to the point on crazy people with guns shooting firefighters or whatever.
Yes.
Should I think that firefighters should carry, or at least have some sort of protection in the truck?
Like carry a shotgun maybe? Or?
A shotgun or a small handgun? Maybe, most likely. Depends on the situation, but
I would say so.
I would say so too, because I don't want good hardworking people to get shot over something
as stupid as a crazy person.
Absolutely, and it just boils my blood just to know that there are people out there who would literally just
firefighters,
kill people who help other people.
Yeah. So I'm assuming your ultimate goal is to become a firefighter.
Yes, absolutely. I'm currently in EMT school right now. Had orientation today. That was a blast. Got to see all my fire academy buddies.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Just the goal is just to keep moving forward with my career. Maybe I might go into paramedic school sometime in the next few years, but I'm pretty sure after EMT school is over, I'm gonna start looking for a job across as a firefighter.
Yeah, man. Dude, that sounds awesome. I mean, I'm going into computer security, cybersecurity myself. So, but that is just such a amazing field. You know, like we really rely on people like firefighters and policemen to just keep us safe. You know, every single day. Otherwise, you know, like towns might burn down. It's kind of essential. So that I guess that pretty much wraps up this episode of the podcast. I really hope that I can have you on again, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would like to be on again. I mean, if whatever happens, right?
Yeah, whatever happens. You know, we'll have to see what the news cycle does. Obviously, if it takes a downturn, then we'll just have to talk about that. But it was really nice having you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, my dude. It's really cool. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you want to see, you know, more guests in the future, or if you want to see basically more episodes in the future, please give us a 5-star rating. Subscribe to us. I know you can subscribe or like follow on Spotify and iTunes and SoundCloud. You know, we're on basically wherever podcasts are streamed. You can find us at A More Perfect Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your family. More episodes coming in the future. I hope you like this one and have a more perfect day.